All right, everybody. Hello. I see. I see Mr. Happy Foxo, Zeke the Fox, Some Coyote. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in for session. What is it? Session 16 of my Tiger Japanese lesson. So, hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome in. 皆さん、実は太陽もある。そして、皆さん、こんにちは。サンディエゴで5時になりましたけど、もう太陽は見えます。I can still see the sun. Asanonix, welcome in. In fact, actually, Asanonix, you were asking Kitsuneko the other day about Aru and Iru, and that is actually the focus of today's grammar lesson. So, this one may be one of the shorter lessons, and I say this now, and then watch, it's still like an hour and a half anyway. So, we shall see. We did do a lot in the last lesson, so I do recommend that you guys take a look. We reviewed the kanji, and they were nichi, ni, bi, or ka. There are 4 ways to read this kanji. I'm sorry that there are 4 ways, guys. It's just something that you will eventually get used to. Hold on a second. I forgot to load something up on my screen. Crap, what is it? Yeah, here we go. Kindle Cloud Reader. That's what I wanted. The music for today is, of course, going to be our favorite walking dog. Yep, perfect. Okay, this is it. So let me briefly go over the kanji that we learned. If you would like to see how to write the kanji using the correct stroke order, you will have to watch the previous video. So I'm sorry about that, guys. The vocabulary flashcards are here. They are available for you on the Google Documents. And, well, like I said, so are the previous lessons. Let me go on and do my beginning spiel about my Discord. So exclamation point Discord. It's getting to the point where I'm wondering, maybe I should just make a separate Discord for Japanese lessons. But we shall see. Like, having too many Discords would be an issue for me personally. Anyway, if you join my Discord, that will take you to the rules section like this. Once you agree to the rules, it will open up all the other channels for you. If you would like to have access to the notes for the Japanese lessons, make sure you go to Role Selector and ask for access for them. We have like 42 people looking into the Japanese lessons. This will open up the Japanese lessons here on the left. I can hide all this stuff now. Here we go. I should maybe add a chat room here later on, but I think everyone's using Kitsuneko's server for the study group thus far. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Let's see. We're currently on Japanese 1 because we're on doing chapters 1 through 6 and eventually the Japanese 2. If you go to resources, you'll see at the very top, there's my YouTube playlist. I've updated this. It now has sessions 1 through 15. I am having a problem with like random people like typing in links in my videos, and those links are like to Russian hookup sites, and I'm like, what the hell? What is this? And so I've had to like look through my videos and like block and like delete some like a few comments, and I'm a little disappointed that that's a thing. But I guess that's part of the territory of hosting your own putting up your own videos. I'm a little sad about that, not gonna lie. So yeah, that would be the YouTube playlist. Then we have the notes for chapters 1, 2, 3, and we are currently working on chapter 4 right here. If you would like to follow along, you can open up the document so you can see it on your screen. I see there's an anonymous cheetah. Is that me? Is that me or is that another? Okay, so there's another anonymous cheetah. So, anonymous cheetah, welcome. そして、Asanonix, もう一度, one more time. こんにちは、キツネログ。ようこそ, welcome in. Alright, so quick review. We have our vocabulary, so you can access this by clicking here. This will open up a Quizlet. The kanji, we have ni, nichi, ni, bi, ka for day or sun. Hon for book or basis. Jin or hito for person. Getsu, gatsu, tsuki for moon. Ka or hi for fire. Sui or mizu for water. Moku, ki for tree. Kin, kane for gold or money. Do, tsuchi for soil. Yo, this was like the hardest kanji for us to learn how to write for weekday. Ue for above, on. Shita, below. Chu or naka for middle or inside. And han for half. Jesse, yokoso. Welcome, ne? Welcome. We also went over the days of the week, which was like nichiyoubi, getsuyoubi, kayoubi, suiyoubi, mokuyoubi, kinyoubi, todoyoubi. So we have our days of the week. 今日は何曜日ですか? そして皆さん、今日は何曜日ですか? 日本語で in Japanese 今日は何曜日ですか? 今日は何曜日ですか? Write your answers in the chat if you can. 今日は何曜日ですか? 漢字で書いてもいい. Yeah, you can use the kanji for this as well since we've learned it. We also went over the months in Japanese. In fact, we went over like time a lot. So we have like January through December. Remember, the rule for months is really simple. The number plus gatsu, the counter for months. So 1 through 12 are the only numbers we will use for months. Right now, ima wa 3月です. It is March. And then we also talked about the days of the month. Now, today's the 22nd, so it's a bit easier to say today's date. But remember, there are specific rules for certain dates. 今日は月曜日です. はい、今日は月曜日ですよ. It is 月曜日. That is correct, Jesse. But remember, the first 10 days and anything with the number 4 have special rules. From 11, 12, 13, the rule there's its own pattern. And that rule will continue until the 14th. And 20th also has its own special rule, because they had to be special and unique. Then we also went time in minutes. The counter's number plus fun. Unfortunately, as you can see, a lot of them have different ways of saying it. It's not going to be fun, it would be pun for a lot of these, like ippun, then nifun, then sanpun, yonpun, gofun, ruppun, nanafun, happun, kyufun, juppun, juippun, nijuppun, and so forth. And that's where we ended last time. We were talking about time, days, and months. So for today, we will continue with our first grammar point for chapter 4. So let's put in my insert table, because you guys know at this point that I like making my notes nice and organized with tables. Actually, I do this with my students in school too. I do the exact same thing. 今日は何を今日は何を今日のhow do I say this? I'm like, why am I drawing? 今日は何月何曜日ですか? 今日は何月何曜日何日ですか? What is today's date? Actually, we'll call this session 16. Using Aru, Iru to describe locations. そして皆さん今日は first of all, remember when saying the date in Japanese, we put the year. How do we say the year in Japanese? 今年は何ですか? 今年は何ですか? What is this year? And Jesse already told us the date, so we can put getsu. Why is it not in Japanese? Getsuyobi. I'm gonna put the whole thing since we've learned it this way. You may notice in Kitsuneko's stream that he just puts the first kanji, getsu, like this. So, but because we've learned this kanji, I will personally use the whole thing. Niju ni ichi sen. You're close, Asuna. Remember 2000. Nisen. There we go. Nisen. Nisen. And I can put this in kanji now. Nisen. Niju. You got the niju for 20. That's the wrong ju. Nisen niju. Ichi. Nen. We haven't learned the kanji for nen yet. But that's okay. 今月は何ですか? 今月 this month. 今月は何ですか? 何月ですか? 何月ですか? You had the right numbers in there. But you had niju and ichi. Correct. 3月. はい。今月は3月です。3月。そして、今日は何日ですか? 今日は何日ですか? And remember, this is one of our new words too. Let's see, where is it? 今日は何日ですか? For like what day is it? 今日は何日ですか? Here it is. Nannichi. Kyou wa nannichi desu ka? And I'll put this in the hiragana romanji in a moment. Actually, no, I will not put it in hiragana because we've learned these. 22日です。はい。今日は22 You got the numbers right. Don't forget the counter. 日。今日は22日です。So, 2021年3月22日。Then, 月曜日。That's kind of funny to say, 22日。22日。If you like try to say that, it's 22日。My favorite day to say in Japanese, though, is 31日。31日。Because this, I call this sandwich day. This is just something I made up. Sandwich day. 31. Sandwich day. Do you guys get it? 31. Okay, I'm such a dad. Okay. All right. I will move on. Like, boo, I'll go home. Keep my day job. All right. So today's goal is to use Aru and Iru to describe locations. We're going to be doing this. There are actually multiple ways we're going to be using Aru and Iru today. One second, hold on. I got a message. Out of all the songs from Walking Man, I don't like the cold coffee one. I don't like listening to the fighting in the background. Okay, so there are two ways that we will be using. Can I zoom in on this? Whatever. There are two words we're going to be using. The two verbs are Aru and Iru. So for today's lesson, I'll put this in bold and italics. Important vocabulary for this lesson. Our first one is Aru. Our second one is Iru. And to help simplify these a little bit for you guys, our first one, Aru, is a U verb. And our second one, Iru, is a Ru verb. So first things first, how would we, if Aru is a U verb, how do we conjugate it? How do we conjugate Aru if it is an U verb? Remember the rules for U verbs. Aru turns into what? Arimasu and arimasen. That is correct. So we have arimasu and arimasen. And hiragana de arimasu. Arimasu to arimasen. そして iru. How do we conjugate iru? Imasu, because it is a Ru verb, and what is the negative word? Imasu and imasen. There we go. Good. So imasu to imasen. Now there is a very big difference between these verbs, and I'm going to highlight the meaning for this. Both of these verbs mean the same thing, and that is, let me try to classify what the book says because it can be a little tricky. They both mean the same things. There is, or there are. Something exists. For some reason, I feel like Iru is an irregular verb. I don't know why. You would think so, but it is actually a Ru verb. So both of these mean this exact same thing, that there is or there are. Something exists. But there is a major difference. The other one. Immortal White Fox. Aru equals things, objects, non-living. Iru is the opposite. Iru is used for people, animals, living things. And it's okay. I often, I mix these up sometimes a lot too. And this part here is probably the most important thing between when it comes to using this verb. They, like I said, they both mean the exact same thing. Someone use a different highlight for this. Let's use orange. That looks exactly the same. Let's use blue. There we go. Aru for things, objects, non-living. And Iru for people, animals, living things. Now, I know some of you may say, but trees are living. Do we use Iru or Aru? I mentioned this to my in Kitsuneko's stream the other day. I don't know if she fully agrees with it. My professor said if the thing that you're talking about has a conscience, that it can think, like animals can think, then you would use Iru. But things without a mind, without a brain, that are just kind of living, you would use Aru. And I'm not sure if that's completely correct nowadays, but that's the way I was taught. Like, you would, for trees, they can't really think on their they technically don't have a brain and can't think. So we would use Aru. It's the same thing for like an amoeba. It just kind of exists. So we would use Aru. But like a dolphin is smart. So we'd use Iru. Kind of thing. And then, of course, there are the students that are like, what about people that were alive, but they're dead now? Technically, you would still use Iru, but you'd use the past tense, like imashita. They existed. Or just say shindemasu, they're dead. But that's another grammar point that we will learn probably in like Japanese too. Again, I'm simplifying it so that it's a bit easier for you guys to understand. Whatever changes, you may have to learn later on. It's more like connected. What do you mean by connected, though? Like, I could say, I have blood cells, and blood cells technically are living things, but I would say, like, Aru for that, because it's part of me, I guess. Now, there are actually going to be multiple ways that we use Aru and Iru for this grammar set, for this grammar lesson. That's the wrong thing. I don't want that to show up. So I'm gonna put this as number 1. Oops, 1. You can. Oh, actually, I don't like that number 1. Let's make this a title. You can use Aru, Iru, to describe where things are. That's fucking huge, guys. Maybe part of a bigger whole, I guess. It's still, like the individual cells themselves would be Aru, but like a tree still would just be Aru, from what I've been taught. That's every furry's dream, to be connected or part of a bigger, to be connected. Like connected, like ooh woo. Excuse me. Okay, so when we are talking about where things are, we're going to talk about we'll use this format. Use this frame to describe where things are. So let me see if I can do this in a table. Location, wow. Oh, that's fucking huge. Every furry's dream. Oh. Let me see if I can do it this way, using all of these. Alright, so it looks like I'll have to reduce the size a bit. Let me go down to 150. I think you guys can still see that fine. All right, so we're gonna use this example. Like, I have like a few examples, and I'm not sure if I really like them. All right, so we're gonna use asoko. Who remembers what is asoko? Asoko. This is one of the ones that we learned before. Asoko. Let me center all of these anywhere. And then I will... Asoko... What is asoko? We used this before when talking about this, that. Who remembers? What is asoko? Did I spell that right? Yes, that over there. So asoko, that over there far away. Asoko ni makudanaruro ga. And I need to add another one. Insert to the right. And then arimasu. Now, first of all, let me talk about the verb. We use arimasu. And hold on. You know what? Better yet. Let's do it this way. Asoko ni Did I spell this correctly? Makudanarudo. Because I know they sometimes just call it maku. No, I did not spell it correctly. There we go. Makudonarudo ga arimasu. First of all, why are we using arimasu? You can make a guess. Why are we using arimasu as our verb in this sentence? And I'll add the colors to this in a bit, guys. Asoko ni makudanarudo ga arimasu. Makudanarudo. We're using arimasu. That is correct, because we're talking about makudanarudos. First of all, do you guys know what makudanarudo is? Usually they may, in Japan, they may just call it maku at this point. Because they like abbreviating these things. Makudanarudo. Yes, it is McDonald's. It's because this is a place. This is a non-living thing. This is a place. So we're going to use arimasu in our sentence. Makudanarudo. McDonald's. Makudanarudo. But yes, this is McDonald's. You may notice that there are a few things here that are strange. And the first one I'm going to highlight is this. One second, guys. The first thing I'm going to highlight is this. First of all, what is this particle used for normally? What is this particle used for? What did I teach you guys that this particle is used for? It wasn't location. Because location is particle de. Yes, this is... Normally, we use a movement particle. So, our first one, asoko. That's our location. Over there is our location. What is over there? McDonald's is over there. But this is where it's tricky. So, when describing where things are, the verbs aru, iru require using particle ni instead of de. Oh god. Why thing? Why? There you go. And this is a very important rule. When you are describing the locations of things, you must use particle ni instead, and this is an exception. Normally, ni does mean like movement, like there's some kind of movement happening. But first of all, the McDonald's is not moving. We're describing where it is. But the rule for this is that it requires the use of particle ni. Normally, if I give you a vocabulary list, this is usually mentioned in the vocabulary. So, like for example, this is from the textbook. And you can I zoom in? Can I please zoom in on this? Does it let me zoom in? No? Really? It won't let... Whatever. Anyway, like some of the verbs here. Here's Iru. Place, ni, person, ga. Usually the textbook, if you have it, will explain what you're supposed to be using. This also is in... where's Aru? Here. Person, ni, place, place, ni, thing, ga. You may also notice that for the verb to meet, it's person, ni. You meet that person. You're like moving to see that person, I guess. Control scroll up? Yeah. You know what? I should know that. Or control plus even. Up. But now I can't... Now it won't let me scroll left or right. I hate these little programs that they add into these things. But usually, I try to put those in the flashcards. So this is location. I'm going to change this location to place. So place, use particle ni, thing, and here's the next particle. And this may be the... Is this the first time we're using particle ga? Or did we use ga before? I can't remember. I remember talking about ga. Oh yes, I did. When we are using question words, we use something ga for like for an emphasis. We're gonna talk about this too. Notice that we are also not using particle wa, but ga instead. And these are very important, especially when using this. And this is, hopefully we can do a lot of practice with this. We will be using particle wa instead. Hold on. There's usually a better explanation for why we do this, but I don't see it in this new version. The best way I can say that is because we are using ga because new information is being emphasized or presented. So I'll highlight this part in orange because I put it in the orange box. And then I'll highlight this in that red because I put this in the red box. And these are very, very important. So you guys were correct. We were talking about McDonald's, which was our non-living thing. あそこにマカダミアがあります。Yeah, shift plus scroll for horizontal scrolling. Yeah, but it's like, I need, is it, I can do that for horizontal? I thought it only works for vertical. I'll have to give that a shot later. So basically we have place, I probably should put these in the top. Place, use this particle, not de. Normally de is our location, ni is our direction, but the verb aru, iru are special, and they require the use of particle ni instead. Then we have our thing, ga, because we're presenting this thing as new information, or we're emphasizing that this thing exists over there, far away. Let's try a few practice sentences with this. If I wanted to say, let's see. But hold on, let me put this in English also. Let me merge these. This sentence by itself, it means there is a McDonald's over there, far away. And remember, the there is here, this here, there is actually from Aru. For things, there is or there are something over there. So there is a McDonald's over there, far away. That's what this sentence means. Not examples. Practice. Let's try this sentence together. What can I say? There is a cat over there. And this over there is by you, like by someone else. How would we build this sentence, guys? How would we build this sentence? In fact, let me go on and make a table for this example. I need 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 5, I believe. Yes. Similar to what we did before. So we need a place. We need our particle. The thing. Another particle. And a verb. So first of all, what would our place be in this sentence? In English, what is the place? Just type the answer in what you think so in the chat. The cat is over there by you. It would be, yes, we would use soko for this in this sentence. Soko. Wait, what? Soko. Let's do this then. Soko. What particle must we use when using the verbs aru or iru? What particle must we use? Similar to the frame that we have from before. We're basically saying, yes, we're going to be using particle ni. Ni. What is the thing we are talking about? Soko ni. Hai, neko. We're talking about the cat. Neko. That's definitely not neko. Neko. We're talking about the cat. What particle do we use when presenting new information or presenting something or emphasizing something? We're emphasizing the cat is over there. We are going to use particle ga. And what verb should I use in this case? Soku ni neko ga. What verb am I using for this one? Yes, imasu. Why am I using imasu and not arimasu? Why am I using imasu and not arimasu in this sentence? Yeah, cat is alive. The cat is alive. We're using this because the cat is a living thing with a mind of its own and probably terror in its head. Near you? There's a cat over there by you. Now I use this by you to describe that it's next to someone else. You know what? That's very good. Let me change that. By, see, next to who you are talking to, so I can specify more clearly. The cat came back. They thought it was a goner. So there's a cat over there next to who you are talking to. There's a cat over there. What if it's Schrodinger's cat? I don't know. Good. Let's try number 2. One more example. Actually, let's all say this together. The cat is in the box. We can't use that just yet. That's one of the last grammar points. But we can learn how to. We will learn how to say that this chapter. Neko wa hakko no naka ni imasu. So repeat after me, and of course I can't hear you, but it's perfectly fine. But this is good practice. Soko ni neko ga imasu. Soko ni neko ga imasu. Soko ni neko ga imasu. Please be aware that you can also say neko ga soko ni imasu. And it would mean the exact same thing. I'm just like flipping some things around. But remember, depending on word order, make sure that the particles match what you're talking about. And it's really up to you. I actually personally, I prefer this way for some reason. But you can use either way. For the examples, as we're learning, I will continue using the way the textbook wants us to learn these. So, soko ni neko ga imasu, neko ga soko ni imasu. Both of these are correct. And remember, we talked about word order before. As long as the particles are connected to the correct nouns or objects, then it's perfectly fine. Let's do one more practice. Let me think. Elvis, stop it. Sorry, my dog keeps trying to chew on his paw when it's itchy, and I don't want him to, because then he like literally chews on it till it starts bleeding. Then the cat is in the box. We can't do that one just yet. Man, we're quite limited in what we can say with these. The restaurant is... Let's just say here. The restaurant is here. How would I say this sentence? The restaurant is here. The restaurant is here. And just like before, I'll use the table to help you guys with this. The restaurant is here. So, of course, the place, particle, thing, another particle, and then our verb. The restaurant is here. Let's see, Jesse. Koko ni restaurant ga arimasu. Hai. So our place here is our it's the place we're talking about. We're talking about koko. Here, koko. And sorry guys, I almost forgot. Koko. And we're using particle ni. Remember, when we're using the verb aru or iru, we must use particle ni. The thing is restaurant, and we did learn this one already. It is one of the vocabulary words we have been taught. Restaurant. Restaurant. Our particle is ga for emphasis or presenting new information. And arimasu. Arimasu. And quick review, why are we using arimasu instead of imasu in this sentence? どうしてありますを使いますか? Why do we use this instead? Because the restaurant isn't alive. That is correct. So this is one way of using aru. We are using aru or iru to describe where things are. And now you can also use aru to describe things that you have or own. And this one, the format for this is going to be a little different. You can use aru to describe things that you have or things that you own. How did I do my example before? I'm trying to make it this consistent. I guess so you can use this frame to describe things you have. I think it's going to be the same. And then let's center everything first. So we'll start with the subject, particle, thing, another particle, and then our verb. So I'll give you the first example. Let's see, transparent. Let's say, who can I use? Some coyote. Don't forget, we're talking about a person, so we need our honorific. Some coyote-san. And because we're talking about him, what particle should I use? What is my topic marker? What is my topic marker, if you guys remember? Yes, correct. We're going to use wa. In this case, we are using particle wa. Because this is marking our subject, which is some coyote-san. Some coyote-san, let's see, what vocabulary word could I use? What's a new word that we have that we can use for you? No, I'm not going to use that one. Wait, this was not one of the vocabulary words. Hold on. Let me double check. I don't recall this one. It's not. Imagine that. Okay. Let's say bread. We'll use the word bread. Some coyote-san, what? And a bread in Japanese is pan. Pan. We're also going to continue using ga for emphasis. And then arimasu. Now this is a little different because we're not talking about locations anymore. We're talking about things someone owns. So our topic marker, I'll use orange, and then our particle, we're still using particle ga because we're emphasizing what some coyotes owning. This one should be blue. Why did it change color? Stupid thing. So some coyote-san wa pan ga arimasu. Coyote wa pan ga arimasu. Yes. No, we don't use particle no because and this is mostly because of the verb we're using. There is a bit of a difference because in this sentence, let me merge these. I'll try to, and that's actually a very good question. This sentence on its own means some coyote has bread. Like, he has bread. Astronautics, you're using, you're talking about no. If I were to say, I would have to say, like, kore wa, this is some coyote no pan desu. The difference here is that this is some, oh my god, coyote's bread. And that's the biggest difference between them. This one says some coyote has bread or he owns bread. This means this is his bread. And that's the difference between the two sentences and why we do not use particle no yet. But I want you to remember that because we will be using that much later. Does that help clear this up a little bit? Why it's not using particle no. Right, no problem. So, これは some coyote no pan desu. This is some coyote's bread versus some coyote has bread. Now, I'm going to change this real quick. No, I can't do that. That would be a better example for the first one. Let's try this again. Let's say... Did I explain this further? No, in fact, some of the rules are still repeating. Like, we're using particle ga, again, to emphasize the thing that our topic owns. Or we're presenting new information. The new information is, we're talking about his bread. Samkayori-san wa pan ga arimasu. And actually, let me say this slowly if you guys want to repeat with this sentence. Samkayori-san wa pan ga arimasu. Samkayori-san wa pan ga arimasu. Samkayori-san wa pan ga arimasu. Let's see. How would we say this one? Let's try practice. P-R-A-C-T-I-C. Let's try number 1. How would I say I have a television or I have a TV? How do you think we would build this sentence? And I'm not going to use a frame this time. I'm gonna try to just write it as a normal sentence. How would I say I have a TV? Nihongo de I have a TV wa nan desu ka? Nihongo de I have a TV wa nan desu ka? Watashi wa terebi ga arimasu. That is correct. Watashi wa, and I'm gonna put this in parentheses. So remember, when talking about yourself, if it's inferred, you don't really need the watashi wa. So watashi wa TV, terebi ga arimasu. Watashi wa terebi ga arimasu. Good. So repeat after me, guys. Watashi wa terebi ga arimasu. Watashi wa terebi ga arimasu. Watashi wa terebi ga arimasu. And I apologize. I had to take a drink there. Our next example sentence, let's try, thanks for I'll hydrate again. Arigato ne. Ocha wa oishii desu yo. Ocha wa oishii desu. Ocha wa oishii desu. Now, let's try to ask a question for this one. Delicious tea? Yes, delicious tea. Do you have... Do you have a watch? And we talked about watch before when we were talking about, like, a shopkeeper and money. Remember, watch is... what is watch or clock? Do you have a watch? Yes, toke. Correct. Okay. So how would I say, do you have a watch? Do you have a watch? And I want to see what you guys can come up with. Simple thing. This is now a question, so instead of just arimasu, we must end with our question particle, which is what? How should we write this sentence? Do you have a watch? Alright, so there's one answer. Some coyote close. Remember, we're using only one mistake. It's the particle. Other than that, yes, it's correct. So, most of you are using this correctly. So, anata wa. And I'm putting this in parentheses again because if you're talking to someone, it's probably implied they know you're talking to them. So, toke ga arimasu ka? And I'm happy that everyone put the question particle there. So, why does it do this? There we go. Do you have a watch? So, あなたは時計がありますか? あなたは時計がありますか? Very good. Do you have, because you're asking if someone owns something. Woobly, welcome in. ようこそね. So, do you have a watch? あなたは時計がありますか? If you want to ask someone like, do you have time, like extra time, like 時間がありますか? 時間, that's a different, that's one of our new vocabulary words for time. 時間がありますか? Are you free? Do you have time? 暇がありますか? We haven't learned that word yet, though. いえ、時計がありません. 時計がありません. I don't have one. And actually, that's a very good example. Let's do a negative, because we've just been doing positive. Let's try a negative one. I'm glad you did that, Woobly. Let's say I do not have It's like I'm like reverting to wanting to use sushi again, but I want to use new vocabulary words. So let me see what's a new word that they want us to use. I do not have. Let's use picture or photograph. I do not have a picture. I do not have a photograph. Who remembers? It's one of our new vocabulary words. What is how do we say photograph? Photograph wa nihongo de nan desu ka? Photograph wa nihongo de nan desu ka? Or even better, nihongo de photograph wa nan desu ka? Hai, shashin. So, shashin. So how would I say this? Woobly's put their answer in. I do not have a photograph. Hey. Very good. Good job, guys. Again, I'll put this in parentheses because remember, it may be implied that we are already talking about yourself. Watashi wa shashin ga arimasen. Very good. Watashi wa shashin ga arimasen. And as you can see, out of habit. 写真がありません. はい、写真がありません. And I could elaborate more. I could say like 子供の写真がありません. 子供の写真がありません. I don't have pictures of a child. Eventually we'll learn like 子供の時の写真がありません. I don't have pictures of when I was a child. 僕の写真を撮っていません. I did not take a picture of I did not take my picture. Posture check, thank you. Oh my god. I actually worked out today, guys, so like my back's kind of sore. Maybe I'll put like another progress photo in Kitsuneko's chat, since you know, like I'm so humble putting these shirtless pictures of myself. Alright, so far, Minasan, I was trying to say I don't want my picture taken. Watashi no shashi no toritakunai, probably. I don't want my picture. I don't want you to take my picture. Watashi no shashi no toritakunai desu. Please don't take my picture. So far, any questions on describing the location of an object, as well as describing what you own? What you or someone owns or is in possession of? Now, I remember when I was in college, one of the questions we ask is, arimasen, sensei, so you don't have any. Good. Okay. Woobly said arimasen, sensei. That means I don't have. Like, I asked, do you have any questions? And they just replied with arimasen. That is correct. That is appropriate. Arimasen mean, in that case would mean I don't have any. So, shitsumon ga arimasen is what he's trying to say. So, like, shitsumon, which means question, arimasen, which just means in this case, it just means I don't have any questions. That's what Woobly was saying. Arimasen. So if I ask, like, shitsumon ga arimasu ka? Do you have any questions? Shitsumon, question. Shitsumon ga arimasu ka? You could just say arimasen or shitsumon ga arimasen. Inu ga imasu ka? Hai, inu ga imasu. Be careful with this one. In this case, I'm saying that there is a dog. Inu ga imasu. But when referring to pets, you don't use imas for owning them. You use the verb kau, which means to raise or to own a pet. It's a different verb. So inu ga katte imasu. Inu ga nibiki katte imasu. I own 2 pets. It's a different verb. Omoshiroi. Yes, interesting. そして皆さん質問がありますね。そして次。So we talked about using Aru to describe things that you have or own. We talked about using Aru and Iru to describe where things are. The last thing we are going to use Aru, again, Aru, is to describe, you can use Aru to describe when something is going to occur. And this will be the third way that we use this. And this is why I'm taking my time with this. And it looks like it will take more than an hour. I hope you guys are enjoying this lesson. This one's actually one of the big important ones. I have a question for you guys. Foxes-san ga imasu ka? Foxes-san ga imasu ka? I'm asking you guys this question. Foxes-san ga imasu ka? Or better yet, chat ni Foxes-san ga imasu ka? Chat ni Foxes-san ga imasu ka? Or quite simply, Foxes-san ga imasu ka? What does this mean, by the way? If I say Foxes-san ga imasu ka? Foxes-san ga imasu ka? Is he here? Yes, I'm asking. Is he here? Is Foxes here? I'm using imasu because Foxes is a living person. Yeah, Foxes ga koko janai. Maybe not koko janai. We're still gonna use imasu. It'd be yeah, Foxes ga koko ni imasen. Imasen. Like yeah, imasen. Like he's not here. So imasen. So to answer that, I could say iie, which means no. Iie. Fox-san ga imasen. Like this. Jesse, nande? Why'd you do that? Iie, Foxes-san ga imasen. And I put that in parentheses because you could easily just say iie, imasen. But let me go back to our notes, and this one will be a bit longer. Like I can be more elaborate with the examples for this one. You can use Aru. You can use Aru to describe when something is going to occur. So if I said, let's use this for example. Um... Actually, I can do this in kanji. Jack Sensei, 背が高いですか？背が高くない。実は、俺が背が低い。Let's look at this sentence real quick, this example. 金曜日にテストがあります。金曜日にテストがあります。金曜日にテストがあります。What do you think this means? 金曜日にテストがあります。There's a test today? There is a test, but when? いつですか？テストはいつですか？ Yes. Maybe I, or you could use I. There is a test on Friday. Test uwu. Oh, Kunanunu, that's the kind of test you like, huh? You like the uwu testing. But there is a test on Friday. Notice, once again, we're using particle ni. But this particle is a little different. Whereas in the first example, when we were talking about where things are, we were using particle ni instead of particle de to describe where things exist. But this particle ni is for what? We are using particle ni correctly in this sentence. What is this particle ni used for? Remember, what is particle ni used for? One is direction. What's the other use for particle ni? Because this one's not direction. Yes, we're talking about a time. This ni is used for a time reference. We're saying on Friday, and it's right here. We're using the word on. So on Friday, there is a test. So in this case, particle ni is used as a time reference. Now remember the rules for using particle ni as a time reference. Sometimes it's not needed, especially for vague dates. Like if I were to say like Kyou, I don't need it because today's a general time. Class reaction, we're hearing that. So say minasan, what is it? Kahoot no testo wa 金曜日にありますよ。Kahoot テストは金曜日にありますよ。それは嘘だ。that's a lie, but in that example, Kahoot テストは金曜日にhold on. Kahoot テストが金曜日にあります。Let me do another example. なるほどね. In fact, I'm going to do a few examples before I try to ask you guys to try these. Let's say 明日. Now, tomorrow is a general day. I know it's not a specific time tomorrow, so 明日 does not need particle ni. It's not a specific time. It's kind of like kyou, where again, it's like a general time frame. It's not necessarily an exact moment. So 明日 for, and what does 明日 mean, by the way? 明日 明日の意味は何ですか? 明日Hasta mañana. It does mean mañana. So next week also wouldn't need ni. Actually, it does. And that's... Like, this is where, like, I have a hard time explaining the time referencing. Ashita doesn't use ni. but raishu does. Yes, ashita is tomorrow. So if I said ashita nihon, I'm using nihon because we've learned the kanji. Nihongo no kurasu ga arimasen. What does this mean? Ashita nihongo no kurasu ga arimasen. Ashita nihongo no kurasu ga arimasen. There is no Japanese class tomorrow. That is correct. There is no Japanese class tomorrow. Alright, so for practice, try to make these sentences on in chat. Practice. Let's try this one. On Wednesday, I spelled Wednesday wrong. On Wednesday, there is a movie. On Wednesday, there is a movie. How would you try to say this? Use what we've what we've been taught so far. On Wednesday, there is a movie. On Wednesday, there is a movie. How would we say this? And for Wednesday, yes, you can use the kanji to write Wednesday in chat. On Wednesday, there is a movie. Alright, I have an answer from Jesse. Let's see what everyone else comes up with. Oops, let me move this aside. So Jesse said suiyobi. Sorry. Suiyobi for Wednesday. Suiyobi ni for our time reference. Where there is a movie. Eiga for movie. Eiga. We don't know the kanji yet. Eiga ga arimasu. That is correct. So suiyobi ni eiga ga arimasu. Very good. Let's try it all together at this point. Here's our next example. There is a student. We did learn student. We haven't learned the word classroom. Let's say in the restaurant. There is a student in the restaurant. Try writing this in Japanese. There is a student in the restaurant. There is a student in the restaurant. Before we go on, what is student in Japanese? This was one of the words we did learn before. Who remembers? What is student in Japanese? Hai, gakusei. I'll put that in Romanji for you guys. Gakusei. So how would I say there is a student in the restaurant. Now remember, we're talking about the location of something. So because we're talking about the location, go back to the first one. We're using this particle instead. We're using this particle instead. So go in and give this a shot. There is a student in the restaurant. I see Woobly's answer. Jesse, try to fix your answer. Oof, my back. I'm mining Bitcoin while watching. Oh no, oh no. How many graphics cards do you have then? That's anonymous. Does that mean you give up or you try? There is a student in the restaurant. And remember, student, gakusei. Alright guys, I'll put the answer in. Alright, so here we go. According to the frame I gave you, we start with the location. So our place, we're gonna put restaurant. So restaurant, and we must use particle ni when using the verb aru iru when describing the where something is. We don't use particle de. And this is one of the tricky rules when it comes to this verb. So restaurant ni, gakusei ga, and all of you were using the verb imasu. Can you explain why do we use imasu again? Why are we using imasu? And I'll probably ask you guys this many a time. どうしていますを使いますか? Why did we use います instead of あります? Yes, there is a student, and います is for living things. We are talking about a student. So レストランに学生がいます. Now, Woobly's answer, he put 学生がレストランにいます. And that's perfectly fine. Remember, the word order, as long as the particles レストランに gakusei ga. As long as the particles are connected to the correct subject, it is perfectly fine. Yes, student do be living, although some students at some point they just feel like they're dead. I'll let you know that sometimes teachers also feel like we're dead. Shinumitai. Let's try another one. My last week with finals. Oh no. Speaking of, let's see. Let's see. The teacher has a... We'll make it easy. The teacher has sushi. Try this one. The teacher has sushi. The teacher has sushi. I don't, sadly. I'm a little upset now that I bring this up because I don't have sushi. I like the annoyed, angry face the face Rick makes. There's Jesse's answer. Oh, I didn't do this in hiragana. I apologize. Koi? Does anyone in here read webtoons, by the way? I've been like completely caught up with extra, or I think it's Takai. Are you trying to say expensive? Takai desu yo. Like what's that? What's this webtoon? Unordinary or something? And I'm like, I don't know why, but I've completely fallen in love with it. And I'm like, yeah, Unordinary. I want them to update it so much faster. Like, webtoon artists draw faster. I feel so bad saying that. But yes, sushi wa... Sensei wa sushi ga arimasu. Yes, remember, using a particle, ga. So, Sensei wa, since we're talking about me, Sensei, oh my god. Sensei wa sushi, the object, ga arimasu. We're using ga to show emphasis, or that we're presenting new information, or emphasizing that he has the sushi. If we didn't know which teacher, it'd be ga for sensei, right? In this case, no. Just sensei wa sushi ga arimasu. Only because... we're referring to... based on context, we're referring to me. But I think we're using ga because we have to emphasize the object which this teacher has. Sensei wa sushi ga arimasu. And then we'll do one last example. Let's see. Let's do a time reference one. No, I already did that. There is no, hold on, let me, like I said, I keep trying to use the vocabulary, but I keep reverting to some of the old one. Sushi o tabetaku nai. I don't want to eat sushi, or sushi o tabenai. I don't eat sushi. Sushi o tabenai then. I don't eat. Sushi o tabemasen. There is no desk in the classroom. Desk is one of our new vocabulary words. We haven't learned classroom yet, so I gave it to you. Kyoshitsu. I think. Wait, kyoshitsu or kyoshitsu? Let me double check. Sushi o tabemasen. Yes, just sushi o tabemasen. Kitsuneko-san. Konbanwa. Kyoshitsu ka kyoshitsu. For classroom. Kyoshitsu ka kyoshitsu desu ka? どっちが正しいですかな? Here, I'll look it up. 教室か教室. Kyoshizu. So I want to spell this correct. There is no desk. Desk is one of our new vocabulary words, guys. Well, how do we say desk in Japanese? Desk. Kyoshizu ですね。はい、机. So desk in Japanese, 机. So how would we build this sentence? There is no desk in the classroom. Based on what we've learned, Kitsuneko-san using the kanji and using niwa instead, which is appropriate, but for our lesson, let's just use ni so I don't overcomplicate. So create this sentence. There is no desk in the classroom. Could we use kurasu? I mean, I guess we could. But kyoshitsu would be more like the room where the class happens, kind of thing. Whereas kurasu is more like the subject, I believe, that like more of the subject that's being taught. Ne, Kitsuneko-san, 買えますか? あ、違う。帰りますか? So Kitsuneko-san gave us an answer already. Mina-san, try to build this sentence. この文を使ってください。はい、そうですよ。教室、So for classroom, 教室に机がありません。教室に机がありません. Remember, we're using particle が for there are no in the classroom. 教室に机がありません. Yeah, kurasu feels more like the class time or group of students. Like for me, it also sounds like the subject, whereas kyoshitsu is specifically the classroom. Kurasu is more. I don't want to say vague, but kind of thing. Ho, wakarimashita. I didn't remember the word for classroom. Kyoshitsu for classroom. Kyo for like to learn, or oshieru, yeah, to learn. So, 皆さん、質問がありますか? Remember, 質問 question があります Do you have? 質問がありますか? Do you have more questions? そして今日これを教えてあげました. This is what we learned today. We learned that there are two verbs that mean the same thing. They mean there is or there are or something exists. Those verbs are aru and iru. Remember, aru is used for things, objects, non-living things. Whereas iru is used for people, animals, or in general living things. When you can use aru and iru to describe the location of objects. And we're learning a pretty basic sentence for this. Yeah, arimasen sensei. Hai, wakarimasu ne. We're using a pretty basic frame for now. The next class, which I'm still hoping to do on Wednesday, I suddenly got a surprise meeting again. Rolling eyes. But I will try to do lessons again on Wednesday. We will be learning how to describe more specifically using prepositional phrases. Like on top of the desk, under the desk, inside my bag, kind of thing. So this frame, we use the place. Master Cade, welcome in. We use the place. When describing the location of place, we use particle ni instead of particle de. And this may be strange since we just learned that de is used for location, but this is required when using the verbs aru or iru. Then we have our thing. Then particle ga, which is used when emphasizing new or presenting new information. And our verb, arimasu or imasu. Alice, stop it. I think it's because my dogs went to the beach that he keeps like trying to lick his paw. It's like salty or something. Means a dog needs a bath. So like practice. There is a cat over there. For cat, remember we use imasu because neko ga imasu. Neko is a living thing. Cat is living thing. Whereas for this one, there is a restaurant here. Koko ni restaurant ga arimasu. We used arimasu because restaurant is a non-living thing. We talked about using aru to describe things that you own or in possession of. Samkoyori-san wa pan ga arimasu. Samkoyori has bread. And a question was asked, why don't we use particle no for this? There is a difference here. This particle no is for ownership. But the difference is, like, this is some coyote's bread, using, like, the apostrophe S, versus he has bread. Like, the meanings are similar, but there is a difference. Am I allowed to be slightly lewd? I don't know. So for practice, 私はテレビがあります. I have a TV. あなたは時計がありますか? Do you have a watch? Do you have a clock? Toss. Guys, let's all like put our toss for salads right there. Lewd salad. Toss the salad. I do not have a photograph. 写真がありません. And 質問があります. Do you have any? I don't have questions. 質問がありません. And then the last thing we learned with Aru is to describe when something is going to occur. Now, I may need to further elaborate on the time reference, like particle ni in this case is a time reference. But some words don't use it, like ashita does not use particle ni, but like shumatsu ni for like this weekend, it does. I think the best way to describe that is like on Friday. We would say like on Friday or on the weekend. We wouldn't say like on the morning or in the or we wouldn't say on the morning or on today, which is kind of weird. Or on tomorrow, in tomorrow. I think that's the best way I can describe like when you do not use ni. But like, 明日日本語のクラスがありません. There is no Japanese class tomorrow. 金曜日にテストがあります. There is a test on Friday. Okay, let's see. you probably use imas, I guess. So desu ne. And then on Wednesday there is a movie. I probably should have said Friday because Kitsuneko-san, you always do movies on Friday. So on Wednesday there's a movie. Suiyobi ni eiga ga arimasu. Remember, guys, when you're talking about when you use particle aru, the thing that comes before the object you're talking about, don't forget you use particle ga. Some of you are still trying to use wa or o. I will be putting practice problems on the Discord for you guys to try out for these also. And then putting it all together, there's a student in the restaurant. Restaurant ni gakusei ga imasu. The teacher has sushi. Sensei wa sushi ga arimasu. And then there is no desk in the classroom. Kyoshitsu ni tsukue ga arimasu. Or ga arimasen. There is no desk in the classroom. I do want to talk about the Discord real quick. For those of you that are in the Discord, if you go to Japanese 1 practice, I did put some questions here from the other day. No one's tried these yet. These are using how to tell time as well as the day, as well as the days of the month kind of thing. Nani eiga desu ka? Which movie? I don't know. Wakarimasen. Shitemasen. I don't know. Shirimasen. So try to give these a try. I will be putting some, I may put a picture here for you guys to try to explain, does this exist in someone's town? Kind of thing. If you do not have access to the Discord yet, konbanwa, Jack Sensei, gomen nasai, watashi wa osokuremashita. I'm used to like, osoku natte sumimasen. Hi, Foxy-san, osoi desu yo. Fox-san no seiseki wa B になる. Osoi desu yo. Seiseki wa B になりますよ. Osoi だから use it as an adjective. Alright, so again, I'll try these exercises later. I was working on previous ones. That's perfectly fine too. So I'll put some questions on how to use how to use Aru Iru in a moment, and that will be the end of today's lesson. So to give you guys a heads up, let me go and insert the table for the next lesson real quick. Hold on. There we go. Next class, and I'm going to do my best to make it Wednesday. I've been canceling a lot of my Wednesdays classes because of work-related issues, but I will do my best. Ganbarimasu yo. I will do my best to have class this Wednesday. Even if I'm sleepy, I will do my best. Because I feel bad, like, skipping out on Wednesday classes. Raven the Wise Vulps, welcome in. We're actually about to raid out. So Wednesday, we will be, what's it called? Prepositional phrases, I believe. Yes, we will be, like, describing where things are. So here we'll be describing where things are. And then still using Aru, Iru. And if time allows, we'll be going over a few new particles as well. In fact, there's only one new particle we need to learn for this chapter, and it's particle to. Right. So, minasan, thank you for coming in. Remember, let me do my last Discord spiel. If you would like to, if you are just coming in, or if you're new to the chat, !Discord. We'll send you, put up a link that will allow you an invitation to my Discord. It brings you first to this rule page. Once you accept the rules by reacting here, you will be you'll have access to all the channels, except for the Japanese lesson. If you want access to that, make sure you go to Role Selector and react here at the very bottom with Jack Sick. There are 42 of you guys. That's amazing. This will give you the Japanese lesson. Someone just posted the Japanese lesson resources. Currently, we're on Japanese 1. At the very top, you'll see the playlist for all the previous lessons. We are currently on session 16. I do have session 15 here. I was able to update this on a good time. So if you've missed any lessons or you would like to start from the beginning, you're welcome to watch the videos that we've for the lessons that we've done before. Also on the Discord, you'll find the notes for chapters 1, chapters 2, 3, and our current chapter, chapter 4, that we are working on. As an example for the practice, I see like Woobly has done some of the practice problems here. I occasionally will put in practice problems after each lesson for you guys to try and get some suggestions or help with. If you have any other general questions, you could always use the Japanese chat here to ask your questions to the group as well. That's going to be it for today's lesson. I hope you guys had a good, enjoyed the lesson. Like I said, next class we'll be describing where things are, still using Aru, Iru, but we're going to be using more like more prepositional phrases, like on top of the desk, under the desk, inside the bag, on top of the TV, that kind of thing. So, let's see, who can we rate out to? Is it specific Fox streaming yet? For Japanese lessons, part 2. Mada ne? Oh, no, just live. Okay, perfect. Live 2 minutes ago. So everyone, we're going to rate out to On Top of the Fox. Ooh, awesome lesson. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming in. So let's see. Tore sensei wa Kitsune sensei no ue ni arimasu. Ooh, toss. Next to this, Kitsune no soba ni imasu. So we're gonna rate out to Kitsuneko-san. We're going from our beginning Japanese class to the next one, doing jumping jacks in circles while pouring a bucket of water over the fox. All right, that's a little bit too elaborate now. So /raid at Kitsuneko 42, and our raid message is going to be: there is a fox in the restaurant. Why can't I spell? Why can't I spell this now? I got so used to spelling it in Japanese. Restaurant ni kitsune ga imasu. And then use whatever whatever heart emotes you guys have. So I'm gonna do this one. There's a fox in the restaurant. Restaurant ni kitsune ga imasu. This will be our raid message for today. Thank you guys for coming in. Next lesson will be on Wednesday, where we further learn how to explain the location of objects or things. Thank you guys again. I'll catch you guys then. Oh, and if you would like to watch, I am doing my my Final Fantasy re-clears for Final Fantasy 14 tomorrow at 5 o'clock p.m. if you'd like to watch that also. Especially if you're a Final Fantasy fan. It'd be a lot of fun. Thank you guys. Catch you guys later.